Alright, so if we zoom in here, this is really what I'm worried about. The hoses, they'll probably be alright. All those hoses up in here, but that guy right there, that is the hydraulic motor for your steering, and it is quite expensive. Alright, well the 650i is up on the lift today, and this kind of holds true for most any cars because we ran into a little problem. As you can see, there's a new rock shield laying on the ground. Well, we didn't really run into a problem, we kind of backed out of a problem. So let me get up in here and I'll show you what went on and why I got to replace this rock shield. Also, the importance of the rock shield, because you may think, it's just a little piece of plastic up underneath there. Well, there's some really expensive stuff just right up above that rock shield. So we got to get it replaced because we don't want to get any more damage that's going to cost us hundreds and hundreds of dollars versus this little rock shield that I found out on the web. Alright, so if we look up under the car, you can see I got a wire holding it up there because I had to order that rock shield. But as you can see right there's a big chunk took out of the rock shield. And what happened was one of those concrete in front of the parking space things, the rebar was sticking up. And so the rock shield got caught on the rebar and it dang near ripped the front of the car off. Fortunately it flexed and popped out, but it dropped the rock shield down, scuffed it all up as we were driving home, and there we sit. So I got to get this thing changed out, but as you can see, those little rebar things, you got to watch them because these cars sit really low. So let's look down here at our replacement that I got actually pretty cheap. Alright, so here's the replacement rock shield, and it's actually different. It's made out of plastic. The other one is kind of like a diaper. BMW uses it as a diaper to catch any kind of drips and drops until they can get their warranty expired. Then you're on your own. Well, we're well on our own now because this is a 2008 model. But out on carparts.com, and I'll put a link to it with a code that they sent me because I ordered it. Said if I share the code, folks can get 10% off, and then I get like a 10% off coupon. Well, what am I going to do with hundreds of 10% off coupons? So it ain't going to do me no good. But I'll share the link with you, so if you do need to get a rock shield, or they also have the little triangle things that go up under there too, pretty cheap, you can go out there and you can get you 10% off on this rock shield because it looks like it's made really well. So you may be wondering why in the title I said $50, which is how much this cost including the shipping, plus 6 nickels. Well, I don't have any of the fender washers, and so just a little tip: if you don't have any fender washers, just take you a nickel or a quarter or whatever and drill a hole in it, and bam, you got a fender washer, because it's cheaper to do that than it would be to waste the gas just to go to the store. Because what I got to do is, because it ripped up a bunch of stuff under there, I'm actually going to have to replace out those little screws that go in those holes that hold it up to the sides. I'm going to have to put some little clinch nuts in there and replace all that out because it kind of tore everything up. But we'll look at that in a minute. You can see how to do that if you're missing some of those little things. Can't find them anymore. I don't know if BMW sells them or not. But we'll get set up here, put the camera down, and we're going to take this shield off up under the car, and then you'll see why it is super important to keep that shield on there, because there's some really expensive stuff just sitting right up above it. Alright, so just why am I so worried about this rock shield? After all, my little wire is holding it up. You know, and it'll stay up there. But, as you can see, it'll flap in the breeze, rattle, rattle, rattle. Plus, I need some protection underneath there because it's just sitting on that lip. And there's only one screw holding it, as you can see. So let me cut my wire off there, and we can get it replaced out. And we'll have a look-see at what is behind that. There we go. So, for mine, it's pretty much shot. There's hardly anything holding it anymore. These clips don't hold. So I'm going to be replacing those out. So the only thing holding this on there is the front of this lip. My big old huge hole in it now from the rebar. And there's one poor little bolt right here that's doing all the work to hold it up. So with just that one bolt, that's all that was holding it on there. And rocks fall out. So you can see rocks get up inside of there just from that big old hole right there. I've already got rocks up in it. So why am I so worried about this thing? Well, let's get the camera up here and we can see just what's immediately behind that rock shield. Alright, so if we zoom in here, this is really what I'm worried about. The hoses, they'll probably be alright. All those hoses up in here, but that guy right there, that is the hydraulic motor for your steering. And it is quite expensive, and as you can see, mine's been leaking a little bit over the years. I probably need to figure out where it's leaking from, but right now we're going to get a rock shield on. The good thing about this replacement rock shield is that it's like a plastic. The one that came from BMW is more like a diaper. It's like a felt type material. What it's doing is absorbing all of these drips and things, so you can think your car is all perfectly healthy, as well as keeping the rocks from flying up and damaging stuff. But the plastic one's not going to absorb the drips, so if they do drip down, I'm going to see them come out underneath that new rock shield, and it's going to let me know just how bad this little leak I have is right here. But that guy right there is a very expensive little hydraulic motor that runs your power steering, so you really want to protect it as well as the rest of the underneath of the car for a rock to fly up. So all we got to do is put this shield on. It's real simple to do. I'm going to have to do a little bit of finagling. I'll put it in the video here, but I'm going to wipe all this stuff off, and then we're going to see how to put this new rock shield on. Alright, so first off, for my situation, because all of my clips are pretty much gone, this is what the rock shield hooks to. It's 1, 2, 3. I got one clip left right there. So I could use one of those screws, but I'm just going to go ahead and fix the whole thing and get her done by using these little threaded rivet things. And if you're looking for this little gun right here, it's about 20 bucks at local cheap store like Harbor Freight, places like that. And you can get this thing for 20 bucks if you don't have one, and it uses little aluminum, little threaded things. So I'm going to put that up in there and crimp it, and then I'll have something I can put screws to, because all this stuff is just flopping around. So in order to do that, on the driver's side of the car, on the left side, I got to get this out of the way because I want to put my crimps in this upper piece and then screw it all together. So I got to get this out of the way, which means I got to take this little guy off. So I already got it loosened up a little bit. We just need to take that plastic shield off there, and then we can put our crimps in. And if you still got your clips and all of that, you don't have to do this part. You could just swap the rock shield out. But for me, I got to do a little repair work in order to fix my rock shield. So those little screws is about the only thing holds that on. And they sell these at carparts.com too. I mean, I'm not trying to upsell them because they ain't giving me no commission or nothing, but with that link you can get 10% off. So hey, might save you a little bit of money. Won't do me any good, but save you some money for watching the video. So all we got to do is, with these things, 2 of them I'm going to put in here. So I got to get that little crimp guy up in there. Well, it just almost fits, but it doesn't quite. So I'm going to run a drill in there and make it just slightly bigger in that plastic. When it goes up in there, it's got one on the end right there that needs to be a little bit bigger. Alright, so we're going to put these little crimp things in place of those clips, because I don't have all the clips anymore. These are little clips right here, so I'm just going to take them out, and for both sides, for the driver's side and passenger side, I'm going to put these in. That way I can just run some bolts in there. So pretty easy to do. All you do is just thread it on the little guy. It's kind of like a popper. You just thread it down on it. Then we're going to put it through the hole, and I'm going to put a washer on the back side to give it some support. And so we put him in there, put a washer on the back side, and then we give it a squeeze. And we tighten it down if we need to. And we give it a squeeze. And that's it. It's pretty much crimped in there. So now we just got to back the tool out, unscrew the tool, and boom, we got a crimp in there. So what that crimp does for us is it allows us to use regular screws. So now I can put a screw up in there and I don't have to worry about all that flopping around. So that one I'm putting there. I'll do another one here, and then I'm going to do for this piece, the third one I'm going to put inside of this because this thing sits up on that. So let's crimp a couple more and then we'll be ready to put our new rock shield on. And there we go. So now we got something to pinch to. We'll be able to put our rock shield up in there and put some new screws in. So let's get our new rock shield and then we can bolt this guy up on there. Alright, so with the remaining little quarter turn guys, I put these in the back because they were all still good. None of the side ones are any good. But now all we got to do is slip this guy up under there and line him up. And we're going to start with these back ones because they're the most difficult to find the holes for. And we get that one put in and locked in. And get that one put in. Now we got the back done. Now all we got to do is get these lined up with our new bolts and we'll be in good shape. So we'll start with the longer ones. Let's see if we can hit our new little screw hitting. We got to put our nickels on there. Give it a little bit more support. And there we go. So we got a nice fresh rock shield made out of much more durable plastic, so that's going to work pretty good. All for 50 bucks and 6 nickels. Well, alrighty. Well, thanks for watching.